What better way to start an episode than with my favorite drink on the goddamn planet? Oh! Bang!
We are live. What is up? We are the Vanderbeck Prophecy. I'm Rodney,
And I'm Ryan.
the long-haired queer.
Hey, shut your mouth. I even prefaced it before. It is a choice.
I don't give a fuck if it's a choice. You got long hair.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. I do have long hair, but you know what? Everyone is starting to get... You know what? A long time ago, I tried to grow out my hair. And everyone told me it looked fucking gay. So I said, okay, I guess I'll cut it. No. I grew it out for when I was like end of high school and first into college. And then I just said, you know what? This haircut looks stupid. It's bothering me. So
You used the Ronin. You used to wear your hair in the Ronin for a long time.
Well, I never got my hair that long to the point where I could put the whole thing in a ponytail. It was always like I can bun it on the top, but that was all I could do. But then I cut it, left it cut for a while. Then after I had my heart surgery, I said, you know what? I'm going to grow it out again. And I haven't cut it since then. And that was 2.5 years ago.
You haven't cut your hair in 2.5 fucking years? Oh my God.
I got my hair cut 1 month before my surgery, and that was December of 2018.
Jesus, dude. I literally...
Well, actually, no. Hasn't even been 2 years. That's crazy, right? Hasn't even been 2 years since I had my surgery.
That is kind of...
Feels like it's been way longer.
Speaking of that, how much better do you feel now versus before?
Good Lord. I feel like a new man. It's so weird because I used to be so... You remember me in high school, dude. I didn't have physical ability. I couldn't run. I couldn't jog. I didn't do any of that shit. Yeah, I did a little bit of weight training in high school, senior year, but... Other than that, I was always the weak link, always the one that couldn't keep up with the rest of the group. You're always like, yeah, parkour. And I could never do that, ever, because I just didn't have the stamina for it. And I thought, you know what? It's because I'm fat and out of shape. I have to work on this, you know? And every time I tried to, like, go get on the treadmill, I wouldn't make it 2 minutes, and I'd be like, yeah, I'm going to call it.
I remember not wanting to really get on the treadmill around you.
Yeah, because it was laughable, dude. You could outpace me like a motherfucker.
Yeah, I just didn't want to upset you.
I understand that, and most people didn't, which is why I resorted to weight training, because there was no cardio involved in weight training. You just picked up heavy ass. Oh,
2
God.
seconds. Sorry.
But so I just thought I was really fat and really out of shape, and then I stopped working out because I was like, it's just not worth it. And then I had the surgery, and I was like, and they're like, oh, you're gonna feel so much better, or whatever. And I thought, yeah, fuck you. I'm not going to feel that much better. You know, I'm probably going to feel exactly the same.
What a surprise you've had.
I'm still going to be some fat bitch. But then had the surgery, went through recovery, started feeling really good, and I was like, what the hell? Went to the gym just out of curiosity, hopped on an elliptical because I have weak ankles. So I got on an elliptical.
You got the glankles.
I got these fucking dinky ass ankles.
Glass ankles.
So I got on the elliptical, and dude, I like ran for like 45 minutes straight. No stopping, no nothing, just trucking. And even then, when I got at the end, yeah, I was feeling a little pooped, but I wasn't like dead. I was like, I easily could have kept going for 15 more minutes. And yeah. And then I was like, wow, my heart really did have a pretty big impact on that. So
I think it's funny how shitty of condition your body was in,
and I didn't even realize
in high school. Yeah, and you didn't even realize. Like, I remember trying to get you to do parkour with me and everything, and like, it's not like I'm that good at it, but like, I just wanted to teach you basics. And you're like, no.
Yeah, I always said no.
I don't wanna.
Yeah, well, dude, I was like, I know I'm gonna go out here and I'm gonna want to fucking kill myself.
I'm gonna fucking hurt myself. I'm gonna die. I'm gonna have a heart attack.
See, and here's the thing, though. I tried as hard as I could not to use my heart as an excuse not to do things. I usually would just flat out tell you I don't want to most of the time.
I know.
But
I'm just being a dick.
But here's the thing, though. Yes, I tried not to, but does it make you feel weird now knowing that all the times in the past, throughout pretty much our entire friendship, that when I told you, hey, heart problems. Like, I can't do it. Whatever. My heart can't handle that. And everyone always just brushed me off and thought that I was just making a fucking excuse.
No, I never thought you were making an excuse. I knew.
But a lot of people did.
I knew.
Now seeing that I have my heart valve fixed and now I don't have excuses and now I just do it, it's a little different. It makes me feel better knowing. But now, granted, all the people that would shit on me in high school about that kind of stuff, I don't talk to them anymore. So fuck them. maybe one day they'll listen and watch.
Anyways, oh my god. Anyways, I haven't cut my hair in a little while, but like I've always been prone to growing out my hair really long. Anyone that's known me for a really long time knows that about me. Whatever. It's been a while, but I usually go long stretches of growing out my hair, which is why currently my hair is long right now. I'm kind of lazy. I don't really care, and I don't want to go to get it cut. Yeah. Did you find what you're looking for yet?
No.
What the fuck? I don't think you brought it, Ryan.
I did. It was right here.
I didn't touch it. We're gonna have to pause for just a second.
Found it.
Oh my god. Okay. All right. Cool.
I shoved it in my fucking dick.
What the fuck?
That's where it went. I never do that, which is why that's not the first place I look. I was like,
okay, you were fidgeting a lot, so that fucked me all up. Anyways, so yeah, I have long hair, and that's why I don't look like a girl though because I have a big old beard. I'm not saying that you entirely look like a girl, but like you definitely look like Jay from Jay and Silent Bob.
okay, fair enough.
If only I was fat. If only I was fat, I would look like Bob.
You look like Bob. Silent Bob.
Silent Bob. I'm not very silent, but
Yeah.
I'd look the part at least.
You could say that I'm facial hair challenged, I guess. Because here's the thing. I can grow something, and maybe you can see it on the camera. I don't know. It's a stubble at this point, but I can grow something. It just doesn't grow where I want it to. So, like, it grows under the chin.
Yeah.
On the neck.
Mm-hmm.
It hardly grows on the chin itself. Mm-hmm. So it looks like an Amish beard.
The chin strap.
No, it's the neck strap.
The neck strap.
I remember in high school, my group of friends used to call me Captain Neckbeard.
That's so dumb.
But here's the thing. I always grew out the neck beard, even though people insulted me for it. But the way I looked at it is I'd rather have a neck beard, and people can actually see that I do, in fact, have a jawline, because I was always chunky and always had a double chin. So I'd grow out my facial hair so that way you knew where my chin was. It's sad, but I know that bigger people can probably relate, just because when you have a double chin, you will intentionally grow hair on your face to define the fact that you do in fact have a chin or a jawline, because a lot of times it'll just flow straight from bottom of your lip straight to the base of your neck. It's just one solid piece.
I use my beard like I don't have a hard angled chin or jawline, whatever. Mm-hmm. So I angle my beard. I give my beard hard edges, so it squares my face up.
Yeah.
So I kind of get what you're saying.
Well, now that I've lost weight, I do have a jawline, and it's pretty strong too. It sticks out pretty good. Now, do I still have a little bit of a double chin? Yeah, I guess a little bit, but like you can definitely see my jawline now, which is why I'm not so worried about having facial hair. I'm like, you know what? Until it,
I ain't no fat bitch now.
But I'm just saying, until it's not all patchy and shit. Maybe when I'm in my fucking mid to late 30s. I mean, that's how long, it's
I don't know, dude.
It's a family curse.
Your dad's got a wicked patch.
He's got a wicked patch, but here's the thing. It grows long enough to where he can cover it. Mine never grew long enough to where you could cover it. You always would see my fucking bald spot right
What's weird
here.
is it's only on one side.
No, it's on both.
It's mostly on one side.
It's a sideways L, so you can go straight across and then down.
It looks like somebody took a shaver to your neck while you were sleeping, and then you woke up in the middle of it.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks like somebody was trying to pull a prank, and I woke up, and then they stopped. But it's permanent. I mean, dude, there's not even a stubble there. It is literally bald.
It's like me with the sides of my, like right under my bottom lip.
Yeah.
Right here, I cannot grow any hair.
There's just nothing. Yeah. Same thing with in between my lip. Right here. Nothing grows here. Not even little peach fuzz. I mean, literally nothing.
I have peach fuzz. So
I
get
would,
lucky with that.
You would think I was still in the process of going through puberty with the way that the hair grows on my face.
You'd think I was with my voice, because my voice cracks every couple minutes.
Yeah. Well, my voice cracks too. That's why I do voice warm-ups.
I do not do voice warm-ups.
Well, so for me, my idea of voice warm-ups.
Voice warms.
Voice warms. Exactly. But no, like on my way to work, because obviously I talk to people a lot whenever I was going to work. And when I was going to work, I would always listen to music really loudly, and then I would sing the music, no matter how terribly, as loud as I possibly could.
So it sounded like you were in sync with the music?
Yeah, but the thing was, though, is that I would sing loudly to work out all the voice cracks and the weirdness, so that way when I got to work and a guest walked in right off the rip, it wasn't like, hey, how you doing? Yeah, I didn't want it to sound like I still had that, from waking up in the morning and drinking my coffee. So I did those little warm-ups, and I just got in the habit of doing that. I did that on my way to school this morning and on the way here.
It's kind of gay.
It's not gay.
It's kind of gay.
It's actually pretty stress relieving. You should try it sometimes.
I do it.
Okay, so shut the fuck up then. How's that sound? See, and I wouldn't know that because I've been in the car with you maybe twice.
Yeah, and I'm never driving.
No. You've been in my car a lot more than twice, but I've only ever ridden with you in the car maybe 2 times.
Yeah, with me driving. Yes.
With you driving, yeah. I don't ever get in your car and ride with you somewhere. Mm-hmm. I always end up having to fucking drive you, or you get dropped off.
It's 'cause I like to get drunk, baby.
Fair enough. I'm not that big of a drinker. I'm not really much of an anything. I don't really care for. Here's the thing. No pity on people that do it. I don't care. Do whatever you want.
No, fuck them all. Fuck you all. No one drink anything. No one drink. No one.
Well, I wasn't saying that. I will have the occasional beer or, drink a little bit. I don't like being drunk or being high or whatever. I don't like the way it makes me feel. It makes me feel shitty. I don't know. I just don't like it. I don't like not being in control of myself. And I like
to relax.
See, but it doesn't make me relax. I start freaking out. I start thinking about shit, and I start to panic. And then I just want to go to bed.
Well, you used to like to drink a fucking lot. I'll tell you that much.
Okay, well, a couple bad experiences with that has definitely changed my perspective on it. I think you remember one time in particular. Actually, you were there for both times that I, was nearing death because of fucking alcohol.
I remember on New Year's one year, you definitely got way too drunk and your parents were freaking the fuck out. Huh. And cops came, and then they came for no reason.
Well, it wasn't cops, it was EMTs and firefighters.
Cops were there.
Really?
Yes. You were. First of all, how the fuck would you know? You were on the floor.
They were talking to me.
Second of all, I was upstairs. Yes, there were cops. Okay. There was at least 2 there.
Okay. And you know what the weird thing was? So after I had my surgery and I came home, I was feeling good. I was feeling better than I was in the hospital. And I was just happy to be home and not in the damn hospital anymore. And I remember, I think I made it 3 days before the pain really kicked in. Because when you're in the hospital, dude, they've got you on so much shit. You don't have time to think about the pain. You're
talking about your heart surgery now?
Yeah. You don't have time to think about the pain. You don't have time to think about anything else because they've got you on all kinds of the good shit. You're constantly checking on you. They got shit that you're doing. So you're not thinking about the pain. Where when you're sitting at home not doing a damn thing, it sets in. And it took me about 3 days. And when that finally happened, I remember I started to run a really bad fever. My chest was burning uncontrollably, and I couldn't even move. And I remember we had to call 911 because it was like, okay, we need to get him to the fucking hospital because I thought I had an infection where my scar was.
Yeah.
But the EMT that showed up was the same one who showed up on New Year's because he came in and said, "I remember you." And I said, "Oh my God!"
Don't tell me you don't do that, please. Don't do this to me.
And it was funny because he was laughing and joking and everything, and then he hooked me up to one of those EKG machines, the ones that read your pulse and everything like that. And I remember him looking at it, and he went from a smile, and it just progressively turned into worry. His eyes started to sink in, his mouth started to drop, and then I heard him whisper to his partner, "Go get the stretcher."
Go get the fucking stretcher.
Like they thought I was having like a heart attack, and it started to freak me the fuck out. But it turns out that's normal. After you have heart surgery, your EKGs look fucking.
That guy was just a dick.
Yeah, he freaked me the fuck out. And of course, in the triage, when they put you in the back of an ambulance, I don't know if you've ever had to ride in the back of an ambulance.
Yeah, I have.
But they force you to put an IV in your arm. Mm-hmm. But
I don't remember any of it because I was a kid.
Fair enough. But when you're in a hospital and they're putting an IV in, they're like, okay, we're gonna.
Yeah, but on an ambulance, it's all bumpy and shit.
Well, dude, we weren't even. But they're not even trained to be gentle with it. So like, we were literally still sitting in my driveway, stationary, and this man just goes into my fucking arm,
like stabbing an EpiPen into you.
Yes,
live, damn it!
And he just fucking cranked this shit in there, and I remember it was like it's just, there was. I mean, it was the pain of him just stabbing me with the fucking needle. I was like,
when I got fucking robbed at Subway. Great segue, by the way.
Oh yeah.
For myself, because I got robbed at Subway. Whatever, doesn't matter. Story for another day. The EMT, because I had cut my hand on my way out of the door because I ran like the little bitch that I am.
Well, dude, you know around with that kind of shit.
You know what I mean? Anyways, so as I was running out, I cut my hand, and the EMT looked at me, and he was like, "Oh, your hand is bleeding." I hadn't even realized my hand was bleeding. I looked down, and I was like, "Oh shit, yeah." And he was like, "Oh, do you need stitches?" And I was like, "You're the EMT.
What do you
You're
mean?
supposed to tell me if I need stitches." And he looked at it, and like I didn't say it like that, but I was like, "You tell me." And he looked at it, he's like, "You're fine." He literally put a fucking Band-Aid on it. My hand was dripping blood. I mean, like, don't get me wrong, it wasn't that bad, but like, he's like, "You're fine." Slapped a Band-Aid on it.
Do you need stitches? You're like, well, I did go to medical school, so
yeah, I know the answer to that question.
because I fucking know.
The cut was approximately 3 inches deep, and I need approximately 8 stitches. Get on this shit stat, please.
Yeah, and then he's asking you. I'm like, you're the one who's trained in this, and it's like, and on top of that, dude, I didn't even know it was cut until 5 seconds ago.
Like
you
literally
pointed it
5
out.
seconds ago.
Like, you think I've had enough time to look at this and tell you whether, even if I did have a background, do you think I could just look at this within 3 seconds and be like, "Yep, it needs stitches"?
Needs the
here's the thing.
stitches.
Are there going to be cuts sometimes where you look at it within a second, you're like, "That's needs stitches"? If it's fucking wide open, you can see the tendons in your hands. You're like, okay. There isn't
but a
there's
little
no
cut on your hand.
Yeah.
No.
like when I got bit, and I still have the scar from it.
What from what?
I got bit by a dog.
Oh yeah, I remember.
But that was like,
I remember the story.
13 years ago. Pretty sure I was still in elementary school, and I still have a fucking scar from it. But this canine went straight into my hand and hit the bone. I mean, dude, it's like that fucking deep. It was bad.
Jeez.
And it was a solid inch all the way inside my fucking hand. And I remember they looked at it, and they were like, "Oh, it doesn't need stitches."
You're fine.
And they told me to just leave it open and deal with it.
That's funny.
And I was like, ugh.
That's funny.
The only good thing that came out of it was that since I'm right-handed, I couldn't write or anything. So, like, for a solid 3 weeks while I had the bandages on my hand, I had to have somebody else do all my homework and
That's the way to go.
write all my notes.
That's the way to go.
And I remember I milked the shit out of it. It got to the point where the teacher even looked at me and said, "Are you kidding me? It's been a month." And I'm like,
your hand is fine.
And I'm like, it's still healing. But at that point, a month has gone by. It's pretty much all fucking healed. But anyway,
I guess we're gonna go ahead and transition into some video game topics because that is kind of a major point on this podcast. If you haven't realized by now,
yeah, if it hasn't been very apparent, me and Rodney don't have much social lives other than we play a lot of video games. And sorry about the clicking. I fidget.
Yeah, you gotta stop that
shit. I fidget with the phone.
We're getting better. Every day is new day.
Okay, fair enough. So video games, huge part of our lives. It's pretty much the only thing I do in my free time. And if I haven't made it abundantly clear what I tend to play all the time.
Apex fucking Legends.
Apex fucking Legends. I love that game, but
and I hear there's a big problem right now with Apex's updates fucking PC players.
Yeah, well, here's the
among other problems apparently.
Yeah, so I'm not a PC player on there. I play on PlayStation. But
oh, nice.
Thank you. But I'm not a PC player. But there's a lot of problems with the game right now. I guess they tried to fix some shit. They wanted to, obviously do their same bullshit where they nerf some players, buff some players, just the typical switch things up, the old switcheroo. Because if people start getting into if they notice that, like, everybody's picking one character, everybody's running the same 3 guns in the game, nobody's using anything else, everyone's just doing the same thing over and over again, even if people are happy with it, they're going to try to find a way to flip that because they want people to adapt and they want to give other people a chance, So they were trying to do their typical shit where they're, nerfing somebody like Wraith, who everybody fucking picks Wraith every single fucking game, no matter how many times they nerf her. Well, they tried to nerf her again, whatever. But I guess when they came out with the update, they tried to buff Pathfinder, which is my boy. And
Pathfinder's my boy, too.
I know he's your boy.
I don't play a lot, but when I do,
I
only use Pathfinder.
He's predominantly my boy, because I have his heirlooms.
Okay, you know what? I don't care. Shut your mouth.
Okay, cool.
Like I said, all right, you know what? I use the interesting man in the world quote. That's my boy, all right?
All right, fair enough. So they tried to buff him, and I guess what they did is first off, they fucked up his grapple. So every time...
What do you mean?
Every time you would grapple something. So you know how you can use your tactical to grapple and you can slingshot yourself somewhere or whatever the case. That was the whole point of Pathfinder, is that you can use his grapple to go somewhere.
That's his assist.
That's his tactical ability.
Yeah.
Well,
that's what makes him an assist character.
He used to be so broken because the recharge on that was like 12 seconds.
Yeah.
So like the minute you'd grapple, you only had to wait 12 seconds, call it 10 seconds by the time you hit the ground, and then you could grapple again, and his grapples were overpowered. You could get halfway across the map in a minute with his grapples. Then they changed it to 35 seconds, which is just fucking ridiculous. And a lot of people stopped using Pathfinder because of that. Now they tried to fix it to where the timing on it, how long it takes to recharge, is 100% dependent on how far you grapple. So if you do some short little bullshit grapple, your recharge is only 10 seconds. But if you do some long fat grapple where you hit something way the far fuck away and you slingshot and you're flying through the air, then you have a 35-second cooldown.
What the fuck? What's the maximum? 35?
35.
Jeez.
But the problem, here's the thing, I'm okay with that because it's better than it always being 35. But the problem was that I guess when they tried to fuck with it, every time you grappled, his right shoulder would get stuck blocking a third of your screen. And it was just stuck there.
Really?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
So like his shoulder would just be blocking your vision. Like the entire fucking time.
You'd just be looking out of like looking out of a window,
yep.
Like a broken window.
And the only way to make it go away was to climb something. Like you had to find a ledge nearby and climb up a ledge or something, and his shoulder would pop back into place, and you wouldn't see it anymore.
That's weird.
So I didn't use Pathfinder for a solid week, and that pissed a lot of people off because again, Pathfinder's like Wraith. He's one of the most picked people in the game.
And he's fucking good.
But like you were saying, how it fucked PC players, so they implemented crossplay, which I know I talked about last week, but they implemented crossplay, and it's really good for Xbox and PlayStation players because we're both controllers. So that just means that we just doubled in people, which means matchmaking should be a lot easier, should be able to find matches easier, and you can actually play with friends, like, for example, like Kevin, who plays on Xbox, whereas I play on PlayStation. Now, instead of him having to have some shitty little PlayStation account he doesn't care about to play with me, he could play on his Xbox, and I can play on the PlayStation. We both have all of our shit, just it is what it is. Then, one of the issues is that with you can't... They said that they didn't want to just lump people together that were on mouse and keyboard and controller because it's hard, because they're two different ways to play the game. When you have a controller, you have aim assist, because analog sticks are not nearly as precise as a mouse and a keyboard.
Yeah.
So they have aim assist, which means that in close encounter fights and everything, it's really, really easy to track people because you don't have to actually do it because your game is doing it for you.
It's not that easy, but it's easier.
But what I'm saying is on PC, they don't have that. There is no aim assist.
Yeah, but all you have to do is point and click.
I understand that, but apparently it gives a very unfair advantage because on PC, it's hard to be accurate up close like that because of how, sensitive the mouse is, as opposed to on a console, I don't even have to think and I have aim assist. Whereas on a PC, you have to think about it. When there's a lot of variables going on at the same time, it's easy to miss your shots or not follow enough or follow too much. Whereas on a controller, it follows the perfect amount as to how quick they're running. It's an algorithm. that I don't have to think about. So that means that like crossplay being implemented has funked the game, made it so buggy and everything, but to PlayStation and Xbox players, it was totally worth it. But PC players, the only way you play with a PC player is if you have a PC player in your lobby. Like, if I'm playing on my PlayStation and I invite one of my friends that's on PC, then I will play with other PC players. But other than that, PC will never be grouped in with console unless you have a pairing in your actual lobby itself. So
I guess that's good because I usually keep cross-platform off on most games because I don't like playing with PC players when I'm playing on a console.
No, and I agree. But here's the thing. For PC players, though, they're dealing with all the same bugs that PlayStation and Xbox are dealing with because of crossplay, but it literally doesn't benefit them at all. Because they're still just playing with the same PC players that they were playing with before, because there are no console players in their lobbies unless they choose to play with another console player. So that means that they're still queuing in, they have the same matchmaking times, the same lobbies, they're playing against the same people, because yes, PC players are inherently usually better at the game than console players, but a vast majority of people that play Apex are on console. So like when you're like if you're a Predator on PC, you'll play against the same 100 people almost every single game because they're the only other
Probably
people.
Not the same 100 people.
No, it is.
Okay.
Well, no, but that's what I'm saying. Like the top pros, because it's skill-based matchmaking. If you're a fucking god, you're only going to play with other gods. It's not fair to put you in a game with level 100s if you're a level 500 fucking rank number 3 Predator. It's not fair to put you in lobbies with even level 200s that are just kind of average, because you are just going to roast them, and it makes the game not fun for anybody else. So you end up playing, like, it's gotten to the point now where, like, I'm not trying to say that I'm good, but it has gotten to the point where I'll play ranked games, and even in pubs and public matches, I'll still get mapped up with, like, I'll look at the champions, and 9 times out of 10, I can at least recognize one of the 3 champions that pop up, because I've definitely played against them before. Like, they've definitely been in my match. Now, if I've gotten to a firefight with them, no, maybe not. But I definitely recognize their name, and I've seen them before. Because of the fact that once you start getting really good, the percentage of people who are really good versus the average player, you know, people just aren't as good. Regardless, PC players are just pissed because their matchmaking still sucks. The game is buggy as shit. And when they do play with console players, they get fucked in close range because we have aim assist and they don't. So, in reality...
Did you say there were other problems outside of that? Was that the...
Oh my god. Yeah, and because of the crossplay matchmaking and everything like that, because now the matchmaking times, it's easier. Because now instead of there being... 300,000 PlayStation players for me to play with, now there's 300,000 PlayStation players and 300,000 Xbox players, which means now there's 600,000 people that I can play with. And I'm just pulling hypothetical numbers. I don't know what the numbers are. I'm sure it's a lot more than 600,000 people.
More than that.
But I was just saying that as a hypothetical. But regardless, I'm saying like it doubled, maybe even tripled, just because there's probably more people that play on Xbox than they do on PlayStation. Anyway, but with that being said, though, the way that they built the servers was for each individual platform to only handle a certain amount of fucking people. Now that they've done cross-platform, now since it's everybody in one server, so Xbox and PlayStation, the server has a hard time handling how many people are queuing into the fucking game at one given time. So what happens is that the game will literally just fucking crash out of nowhere. And it'll just boot you back to the main okay. So, like 2 nights ago, I was grinding with John. And I had just wiped a whole team by myself off the rip. And that if anybody that plays Apex and you're in ranked and you get an early squad wipe, that's fucking awesome, especially because I killed all 3 of them myself. So I had a leg up. I was like, oh my god, I can just camp the rest of this fucking game and just get stupid points right now. Not even 2 minutes after I killed all 3 of them, and I'm thinking, okay, this is a good game. I got an R301, got a Hemlock. It's fucking kitted. I got ammo. I got heals. I'm ready to fucking go. You know, we had good positioning. We knew where the ring was, everything like that. All of a sudden, game just crashed. Server shut down. sent me back to the main menu. The entire lobby got booted. Game was over. I took a negative fucking RP because it wasn't enough to get me positive. So I still took a fucking negative, and they ripped that game from me. Made me lose my opportunity to get a shitload of points that game because I had that early squad wipe. It just ended.
Jeez.
Over. And it disappeared. Gone.
Finito.
Yep. Gone. Done. Over.
Bye-bye.
So I was ridiculous. And then it happened to fucking again. I had a kill and 2 assists, which is the same thing as basically 3 points. And I was doing okay. I was still negative like 6 or something. I still needed to get like 1 more kill or just needed to survive the top 10 or whatever, and then I'd be positive. And then the server crashed again. But so in ranked, when you're playing Apex, I know you don't play ranks or really ever really play Apex in general, but there's a ranking system with points. So like I'm a platinum. So that means that when I go into a game, I start the game at negative 36 points, which means if I just jump out the ship and fly off the edge of the map, I will go back to the lobby and be 36 points lower than where I was before. It cost me 36 points to get into that game. And I have to accrue 36 points and then more to rank up, is essentially how it goes. And the higher tier that you are, the more it costs to go into games. Because that shows your skill level. You got to do better every tier you go to in order to be. It's a skill capping system to keep people, to keep the players that deserve to be in platinum, to keep them in platinum and things like that.
Yeah, it's much better for matchmaking.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's better to play against people who are your equal skills. So I understand it and I respect that. But here's the thing, though. In a ranked game, because a lot of people like to fucking rage quit, and it's really annoying because, like, you'll have 3 people and 1 person will be random or 2 of your teammates will be random people you don't know. You'll jump in. They'll decide to just go full bore, gung-ho, push this whole fucking team by themselves when you're not even near them. They'll get knocked by that team, thirsted, which means that they're officially dead and you have to go recover their banner, and then they'll just leave the game. It pissed them off, so they just leave the game. Now I can't recover their banner, and now I'm down a teammate for the rest of the game. So now every single gunfight I get into, it's always going to be 2v3. It's
going to be stacked against you.
Yes, it's going to be against me. So, but in ranked, if you leave the game before your respawn time's out, because you only get 120 seconds to recover somebody's banner, or 90 seconds or something like that, to recover somebody's banner. So if 90 seconds passes and nobody goes and recovers your banner, your respawn time's out and you can't be respawned anyway. So it's essentially you might as well leave at that point. But in ranked, if I push a team by myself, get knocked, get thirsted, and I leave the game, so what happens is I take the negative 36, but because I left the game early, they double it. So now I actually took negative 82. No, 72.
Something like that.
Yeah, negative 72. And on top of that, they banned me from joining into another game for 10 minutes. So my game is literally locked for 10 minutes, and I'm down 72 RP, being in platinum because it's 36 times 2. Which gets even worse when you're a diamond, because then it's negative 48, which means really it's going to be negative fucking 90.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, they really penalize the shit out of you for leaving games early. But here's the thing. When the server shut down, it thought that I left on my own accord. So I took negative 72, was banned for 10 minutes, and I lost all my fucking my RP and everything. God, I wanted to... Okay. Anyway, yes, the game is a bit broken right now, and a lot of people are pissed off about it, and it's having a hard time. They're trying to fix it, and then there was another exploit. The game is still broken in the sense of, like, they had a gun called the Sentinel. It's a bolt-action sniper rifle. It's okay, I guess. It's not bad, but
never used it.
I don't really run it. But there was an exploit with the new update where I guess if you tried to shoot and reload at the same time, it would make the gun fully automatic. And this is a bolt-action sniper rifle that does 90 damage per body shot, 130 per headshot. So you can imagine it's supposed to go...
Yeah.
But instead it's... Yep. It's literally just bang, bang. I figured out about it because I went up against somebody that had it, and they destroyed me. I lost my game because of it, and it pissed me off. I reported that motherfucker, and then it only lasted one night because everybody was doing it. Literally everybody picked up that damn Sentinel, ran it full auto, and was just destroying. I mean, dude, all you had to do was land 3 shots on someone no matter what their shield was, and they fucking died. So... and I don't care how good you are at the game. All I have to do is land 3 shots on you, it's pretty easy to kill you, you know?
You're going down pretty hard.
Now, granted, they banned a shitload of people permanently for life for exploiting it because Respawn's really good at doing that. If you try to mod or hack or whatever, you might get away with it for a minute, but they will find you, and when they do, they will ban you for life, and you'll never be able to play the game again.
It's a lesson, kids.
Yep.
Don't cheat.
It's just how it is. I mean, you'll have 2, 3, let's call it a week of fun, and you'll feel like a god because you've got like ranks, you're getting a shitload of points, you're getting a bunch of kills, you got a 20 bomb, you got a 4K bet, whatever. But then they're going to ban your account forever, and it's all going to mean nothing because you're never going to be able to play the game again.
Yep.
So I was like, was it really worth it? Because I have fun playing the game every day just grinding.
You're just like, hey, bro, I was so good at Apex. Like, yeah, let me see your account. Oh, yeah, sorry. Can't. My account doesn't exist anymore.
Well, no, you can pull it up.
No, I know.
They just won't let you load into a game. So you can go look at all the things you've achieved. But you can't play a game, which to me is like, oh, why? What's even the point of accomplishing all that if you're just going to get banned for life? Granted, you could just go make another account and just keep letting them ban you. I don't know. Seems like too much work to me.
Yeah.
Especially with as much money and time as I've invested into my Apex account. If I got banned permanently, I don't know what I'd do with myself. Starting over is just not an option for me.
Yeah, no, for sure. I feel that.
If I had to start over, I wouldn't. I would just uninstall the game and I don't know.
That's what happened with me with Modern Warfare 3 because I was playing the shit out of that game and like I was going up in rank every day by like a couple 100,000 every single day. Like I went up 5 million in 3 days. You know, like legitimately just moving, getting better and better every single day. And then I got into a hacked lobby against some guy, and he was destroying everyone on my team. Like he was like fucking 30 and 1, something like that. And like the one guy that had killed him had left the game that was on my team, and I was like, okay, well, that's weird. And nobody on my team had touched him or anything. I was gonna say got any kills, but there was more team members, whatever. So I'm running around. I managed to kill him, and then I go to change classes, whatever, because I was like, okay, shit's getting serious, whatever. I was killing his other teammates, like no problem. And then when I went to go change my class, all of my classes were different colors, and they were all they all said declassified. Mm-hmm. Or classified, some shit like that, and they were all different colors, and I was like, what the fuck? Why is this saying this? And then I clicked on a class, and it wasn't my class, and then I was like, oh shit, okay, this guy's a hacker. So I left the game, went to go check my my stats, just to see if something else had gotten affected. I was ranked negative 8 billion. I was literally at 2 million. My rank was 2 million. And like when I started playing the game, obviously like I was near the end. So like, and this was at a time where like 6 billion people were playing the fucking game. Obviously negative 8 million is not a real number for the game, but like it had put me into a position where I could never come back from it. Because it's still like my original stats were still there, but like when I tried to get a hold of Activision or whoever fucking made Infinity Ward, I think made Modern Warfare 3. When I tried to get a hold of them to recover my account, I couldn't get a hold of anybody. So I literally lost my shit. I stopped playing the game, won't touch it anymore. Literally every time I see anything about that game, it like brings a tear to my eye. It makes me so sad because I was so good at that game, dude. And it was all ripped from me because some fucking asshole decided to play with cheats. Play with cheats that make it to where if he dies, you lose all your shit. Like, how ridiculous is that?
Yeah.
Like, oh my god.
And I remember
thinking about it now just makes my blood boil.
I played in a lobby like that on Modern Warfare 2. Granted, I never checked my stats, like where I was ranked worldwide, but I remember I was like, I don't know. I think I might have been halfway through 3rd Prestige, and there was 10 Prestiges in Modern Warfare 2. And I was like halfway through 3rd Prestige and joined into a hacked lobby. All my things popped up. All my classes were my PSN name, but they were different colors.
When they're different colors, that's when you know.
Yeah, they were different colors, and I was
fucked.
like, oh, fuck. Okay, so I left the game, but when I came back, I was level 70, max level. I was 10th Prestige, and everything in the game was unlocked.
See, that was the exact opposite. Every single thing was locked for me.
Yep.
I lost everything.
I mean, dude, every single challenge, every single badge,
I forgot to mention, I was 5th prestige on Modern Warfare 3.
Yeah.
That's fucking dedication.
Yeah, no, and that's why I was like, I was happy at first because I was like, oh my god, I literally have everything. Mm-hmm. But then I just stopped playing the game because I was like, well, there goes the fun. Because part of the fun of the game was unlocking fall camo for guns, getting those headshots, acquiring those challenges, leveling up.
I never cared about that in any Call of Duty until Modern Warfare 3.
Yeah.
That is all ripped for me.
Well, Modern Warfare 3 was still on the headshot system, right? Like you had to get headshots to unlock camos, or did that?
I don't remember.
Because I remember,
think so, maybe.
Because I remember in Black Ops 2, Black Ops in general, Treyarch was never really one to do the headshot thing. Because in World at War, they didn't have camos at all. And in Black Ops, they had
played
camos.
A lot of the multiplayer Call of Duties way before, like the earlier multiplayer Call of Duties before I did. I played all the single-player CODs, and then I played Modern Warfare 2, and then Modern Warfare 1, actually, but I didn't really play a lot of multiplayer on 1 or 2, but I played the single-player versions up to Modern Warfare 2, and then started playing multiplayer from Black Ops. No, World at War up. But World at War, didn't it come out in between?
It became out in between COD 4 and Modern Warfare 2.
See, that's what I thought. So like that's the one I started playing multiplayer on, and then I barely played it on there, and then I played it real heavily on 3, Black Ops, and all those after that. So like the ones that you're talking about, I don't really know a lot about.
Yeah, the first online game I ever really played was COD 4 when it first came out, because I had just got my PlayStation 3. I got new Wi-Fi, everything like that. I was actually able to get on PlayStation Network, and I sat there and I just played COD 4 online, and it was so much fun. But I remember that was the headshot system. Again, Modern Warfare 2, headshot system. World at War, they didn't even have camos for guns. I might be mistaken on that, but I'm like 95% sure there was no camos in that game. But then when Black Ops came out, they had a shitload of camos, but it was just it was currency. You earned currency points in the game from leveling up, and you used currency points to buy whatever camo you wanted.
I barely remember that.
Yeah, you got like money or whatever.
What I really remember from Modern Warfare 3 in that era is Modern Warfare 3 was coming out the same time Skyrim was coming out. And I remember Modern Warfare 3 right after it came out was extremely polarizing. It was so one way or the fucking other. Like you either loved it or you hated it, and it was because of the drones and it's literally World War III is what they were trying to represent in that game, and it literally, you either saw it as exactly that or you saw it as like this disgusting representation of what it could be.
Well, and not only that, but people also had a problem with it at first because, no shit, it was literally just Modern Warfare 2, but with new maps.
Yeah.
Like, the guns were almost exactly the same. The game, literally, like, the way it played, the mechanics.
And the story wasn't that good.
Everything about that game was almost exactly the fucking same as Modern Warfare 2. So when people saw Modern Warfare 3, they were like, dude, why would I drop $60 on this game? It's literally the same damn thing.
And, like, the story was pretty much the same story. The missions were pretty much the same. It was just, it wasn't that good. And, you know, that brings me to a perfect segue. Ghost of Tsushima and Death Stranding are just they're not bad in that way, but they're the same way in the fact that they're both very polarizing games.
I agree.
Like, I played Death Stranding very recently. You played it when it like first came out, and like I remember being at your house watching you play the game and just thinking to myself, why the fuck would anyone play this walking simulator? Mm-hmm. You're literally a package delivery man.
Yep.
You're Fry from Futurama. Like, what? Except you're not an idiot. Like, why would you play it? And then it went on sale not too long ago, and I got it, and I decided to play it, and I finally understood. It's the atmosphere, the story, the fact that Hideo Kojima is just a fucking genius, you know, like with everything he does, the atmosphere he sets up, the music, the setting, the scene, all of it. It's great. And same thing with Ghost of Tsushima. You're literally playing a samurai movie from like the 1940s. And I know I've said literally a lot, but believe me, I fully believe this stuff.
So with Death Stranding, because I remember they talked about Death Stranding for a while before it ever came out. For a long time. It was teased long ago.
I didn't hear much about it. Like, I know they talked a lot about it, but nothing was ever talked about, like, the content.
Well, here's the thing. They started talking about the game, like, when I first heard about it, right after they canceled PT.
Yeah,
the Silent Hills game.
Yep.
Because Norman Reedus was working with Hideo Kojima on the Silent Hills game, and then Konami canceled it. Fuck them, by the way.
Bullshit.
And when they canceled it, Norman Reedus and Hideo Kojima still were going to make a game. It just wasn't going to be through Konami. But they couldn't use Silent Hills because Konami owns the rights to that.
That was going to be such a good game.
It was going to be fucking terrifying. But still, when they did that, I remember thinking to myself, I'm like, no matter what, I'm going to get this game. I don't care how it looks. I don't care what the gameplay is like. I don't care. I don't care what the premise of it is. I'm going to get it. And that's because Metal Gear Solid was literally the foundation of my gaming throughout my childhood. Playing Metal Gear Solid, I've played all of them hundreds of times. I've literally done everything you can possibly do in all of those games. The only Metal Gear Solids I didn't play was Portable Ops, and there was another one that was on PSP only. And even Peace Walker, which originally was PSP only, they actually ported it over to like an HD collection on the PlayStation, and that way I could play it. So I still played Peace Walker. It's just not until it came out in the HD collection. But Hideo Kojima earned my respect because he wrote, directed, created Metal Gear Solid.
Metal Gear Solid 2 and Metal Gear Solid 4, absolute favorites. And then I fell in love with 5 as well.
No, I mean, dude, the first time I was ever exposed to it was I remember seeing like a trailer for Metal Gear Solid 3 and thinking to myself, what the hell is that? So I thought it looked really cool. And then I went back, saw some of the game, played it for a little bit, loved it so much, I said, you know what? I'm going to go back. I'm going to play 1 and 2 first, and then I'm going to go grab 3. Now, granted, after doing that, I figured out you could probably play 3 without playing 1 and 2 because 3 is literally a prequel to all of the games. So, if anything, chronologically, you would play 3 first before you'd play any of the other ones because 3 sets the foundation for everything else from before and after that.
Okay, well, I know that you love Metal Gear Solid, but we aren't PlayStation Access. So,
fair enough.
Let's get back to Ghost of Tsushima.
Which I haven't played.
Which I like to call Ghost of Tsushima. It's similar to Death Stranding and Metal Gear, I guess, in the way that it's practically a walking simulator, but in a very good way. The whole set and setting is absolutely gorgeous. It's beautiful. You have to pay attention to the atmosphere around you to even know where you're going. Literally, the wind guides you as you play the game. So if you need to know where to go, you press a button, and then the wind will start blowing, and then you just follow the wind. And that's how you figure out where you go. And then you'll hear birds tweeting, and sometimes when you hear those birds, if you follow them and you find them and you'll follow the noise and everything, they'll lead you to things to unlock, new weapons, new clothing, new just points to unlock shit and everything. It's so cool the way they set up the game. It's beautiful. It's well written. It's an amazing experience to play, especially if you ever wanted to experience being in a samurai movie. You know, like one of those really old samurai movies. Not the ones that we grew up with, but you know what I mean. Those really cool, like Ninja Assassin. It's not so much like. Do you remember that movie? Ninja Assassin is really gory. Dude had a blade on a chain or whatever. No,
I don't think so. I mean, I remember there was a movie.
Have you ever seen a ninja movie and thought, I want to be a ninja? Ghost of Tsushima is the game to play then. Like,
fair enough.
And it's not really about being a ninja. It's more about being a samurai and what it means to be noble and have that sort of noble righteousness, I guess, whatever. I don't know. But it's just an amazing game, and you either love it or you hate it, just like Death Stranding, Metal Gear, and many other games, you know?
Yeah. There's a lot of games where people don't fall in between, where they don't say, it's pretty good.
Fucking Dark Souls. It's not a game I've ever played because I am the type to not like games like that.
You
that
rage
just
quit.
Punish you. Yeah, I don't necessarily I rage quit.
Yep.
I rage quit Slender. So, like... If that tells you anything.
Yeah, I remember us playing Slender. And at first it was terrifying, but got to a point where I remember we were on page 7.
Page 7, yes. And
we were on page 7 out of 8.
Yep.
And
got my ass eaten.
And we died.
He literally fucking came up out of nowhere. At that point, like, you walk so slow. You have to conserve your stamina so properly. You have to know exactly where to go when there's 3 or 4 possible locations for that stupid note.
Yep. Those were good times.
Meanwhile, he's just literally behind you the entire time. Just
yeah, he's literally in your ass. Like, if you could third person that game,
he would literally
just
spazzing the fuck out right behind you.
Because I remember there was something that, like, I remember looking up. I watched so many videos about tips on how to beat the game. I remember they said, like, once you get page 7, he literally spawns on your ass
the entire time,
and he's following you. So you can't stop. You can't turn around. If he might pop up in your peripheral.
If you hit a wall, you're fucked. If you make a wrong turn, you're fucked.
Yep. And on top of that, too, sometimes he'll just spawn right in front of you, and you have to be able to
turn around.
Turn right when he does that, because if you don't, you insta-die.
Yep.
Like, it's... Yeah. There was some stupid-ass strategy you had to do to be really good at that game, and...
So hard.
I was never brave enough to play it, because I was a little chicken shit when I'd play horror games.
That's why I played it.
The first horror game I ever sat down and actually played through by myself in the dark, didn't even have anybody around, and just said, you know what, I'm just going to power through it, I'm just going to do it, was Dead Space.
I thought you were going to say Five Nights at Freddy's or...
What do you think?
Resident Evil 7.
This only happened 2 years ago? Like, no, I sat down and played Dead Space. It was the first game I ever sat down, played alone, turned off the lights, and just powered through it. Now, granted, it is like a 12-hour game, so it's not like I banged it out in one sitting. You know, I would sit down, play it for 3 hours, get fucking terrified, turn off the game, call it a night, and then I'd pick it back up the next day or something. But I remember when I finally beat it, I was like, wow, I conquered my fears.
I remember... Like, since we're on the topic of horror games, I bought Alien Isolation because I watched you play a little bit of it. I've still never beaten it, dude.
Oh my god!
Like, I seem to only be able to play and successfully beat horror games when I'm playing it with you.
And that's the weird thing, 'cause I also played Alien Isolation because, again, you saw me playing it. I downloaded it for free. I didn't pay for it. That's why I got it.
It's just too fucking scary. That alien is so smart.
Yeah, well,
the AI learns what you're doing, and it's they're making a Hello Neighbor 2. I have the alpha on my computer.
I saw
the beta's free.
About it. Really?
The alpha's free, I should say.
Oh.
It's super early access, but they're already in the description. They're saying that it's the AI will learn your routines and everything. On the topic of AI, the AI learns your routine, and if it deems that your routine is effective for you, it will copy it and replicate it and do it itself. So, like, if you use a specific item to get up somewhere, the AI will use that same item to climb up on something. So remember how when we build towers in the first one to get up to stuff, and he wouldn't be able to get on them? You just break them? Yeah, now he'd be able to get on them. Yeah. So, sorry. Anyways, back to Alien Isolation. Yeah.
You could watch. I mean, there are so many videos on how they made that AI for the Xenomorph, and it's brilliant. But the thing is about it is it's so freaking terrifying, dude. I remember the scene where you first have to deal with the alien. I remember it like the back of my hand. You walk into like this weird looking room, and there's a locked door far left, and he comes through the vent, and he's right in front of you, and then he just dips off into the distance. But he's patrolling, and that's the first time you ever have to like deal with him in like a room or something, where he just pops up and basically won't go away. Because there are scripted parts in that game where he pops up. Because sometimes he'll pop up where he's a randomly generated kind of thing where he always exists in the game. He just randomly will pop out at certain times, especially because again, it learns your routine. It figures out where you like to hide. If you typically escape from hiding in lockers, he'll start walking around and just checking lockers. If you like to walk in the vents, he'll spend more time in the vents. It's the weirdest thing, but it's like there are points in time where like he'll pop up, he'll do a lap or two around the room, and if you hide, he'll jump back in the shaft, and then he'll dip, and then you won't be able to find him again, and he'll just run away, and then you can keep doing what you're doing. But there are scripted parts where he will pop up, drop down out of the vents, but he won't leave. He will stay in the area until you get out.
Yeah.
So he, no matter what, will always be there. You have to deal with him. You can't just hide in a corner until he goes away and then continue about your day. You have to be able to solve the puzzle, open the door, unlock it, traverse the area, get what you need,
while
find the
he's
items.
Up your ass.
While he's still patrolling, going around the shafts and everything, but he's just there. And that's
the scariest thing, dude.
Those parts are fucking terrible, and especially because he's also silent too. But yeah, so like the AI is just so freaking intelligent the way that they made it. Apparently they said it's like a tree or something where if you do this, it responds in one of these ways. And then if you respond to that action in this particular way, it can respond to that action in these sets of particular. It's a big, massive tree. And I remember it took them, that was in 80% of what the development process for that game was. Like you had like a team of 10 people making the entire game, and then like a group of 30 people just working and making the alien for pretty much the entire time. Like it was crazy how much work they put into him. But now, like Hello Neighbor, that game, the first game, the AI was pretty damn intelligent because I remember it figured us out pretty quickly.
And it started fucking making shit very hard.
Yeah, because we had a system. Because I remember it was levels, and it got harder and harder because it got more and more complicated. But it just got to a point where he would start to inspect the areas that we like to go to. He'd check the places where we like to hide.
And like he would like stand in some spots and like wouldn't leave.
Yep.
Man.
And you just had to find a way to get around him.
Yeah. Like we had to like get him to chase us out of that, like go into the room, get seen, then run out, get chased out, and then sit in another room for a second so he'll stand in there and then rethink our plan. It was so much.
And there was also like there were strategies that we had, like if he was standing in one spot and you needed to get away, you have him chase you out of that area, hide somewhere else, then go right back to that area while he's still over here looking for you and work on that. He figured that out. Because dude, it got to a point where he would start to chase you and then he'd stop and then just run back to where he was, where we needed to go, and just wait. Because he knew our system was run away, get him away from the area, hide, and then come back. He got to a point where he would chase us for a minute, but then he would stop and go right back to where he was. The game, it was weird because the atmosphere wasn't terrifying.
No, it wasn't.
It was meant to be like thrilling, but it wasn't meant to be scary. But the game was terrifying.
It's in the horror section now.
I understand. But that's the thing. If you play the game, I mean, it's always daylight.
Yeah,
it's not
a
very
traditional
dark.
horror game.
It looks fun. It looks friendly. There's not a bunch of blood and gore. There's not a bunch of cussing and all this other. No, it's if you looked at the game,
silly.
You would think it was just like a strategy game for kids or teenagers.
No, it is not.
But it is 100% not that.
It's super weird.
Which I'm excited. Once 2 comes out, we're definitely gonna do a playthrough.
We're gonna play that. We're gonna play the new Amnesia coming out. We got a whole list of games to play.
All horror.
Yeah.
And also, we will be making gameplay clips of Apex. I just want to let you know that.
I don't have anything to say on that one.
Yeah.
I will be doing Modern Warfare.
Well, we're going to do that. Regardless.
Collages, mixes.
Something that we
clips.
didn't bring up in the previous episodes is just the reiteration to go follow us.
Yes,
on social media.
Go check out our social media pages. We're on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. We are the Vanderbeck Prophecy. Spelled exactly, well, actually not exactly how it says. If you found us here, then you probably can search us for us on social media.
Yep. VANDYBECK Prophecy.
Yes. In the in front of both of those. So, we have a website made with Squarespace. So just shout out to them. They have a very easy platform to use.
Yep.
But yes, we have a website on Squarespace, thevanderbeckprophecy.com. If you'd like to go check that out, that's a little bit about who we are and what we're doing. And yeah, if you want a direct link to our YouTube page, the links is on there, as well as all of our social medias and a couple podcasting services.
And just so that way you guys know, when you message us, we will respond.
Yes, we want to interact.
Yes, we want to talk to people, especially because we understand that we're just getting started out and everything. We want to be able to reach out to you guys who are actually listening to us in our first episodes, because you guys are important to us. And we want to make sure that if you guys are the only ones listening and it's just a few of you, we at least want to make sure you guys enjoy it. So basically, point is, if you have questions, comments, anything, there is nothing that is off the table. Please just message us and just be honest, or ask us the questions you genuinely want us to know. We will, as we start to accrue more questions and accrue more comments and things like that, we will get into the habit of actually bringing them up on the show itself, talking about people in particular, answering frequently asked questions that we typically have, maybe even shouting people out, certain reviews, negative and positive reviews, things like that. We will interact.
We're not scared to make fun of ourselves.
Yep,
so.
And we're also not afraid to make fun of you guys.
Yes.
So essentially, just give us something and we will run with that. But I'm just saying, if you message us, we will respond. If you comment to us, if you give us feedback, we will mention that. We will have sections as soon as we start to acquire more questions and things like that. We will have a section on the podcast to answer those questions and have further elaboration on those. So basically, just make sure, check us out on the website, thevanderbeckprophecy.com. Check us out on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all with the same name, Vanderbeck Prophecy. We try to post every day, keep you guys up to date, let you know what's going on. So if, basically, we like to upload episodes every Friday.
Yep, we'll have a new episode every week, Friday, 9:30 a.m. So when they should be out on all major platforms. Hopefully, by the time this one comes out, we'll be on Apple.
Still waiting.
But yeah, please get in contact with us. You can get in contact with us directly through our website. So that is going to be the best way. But
if you want to contact us, yeah. But so that pretty much wraps up everything that we were going to talk about today.
Yeah, that's about it.
Yeah. So thank you guys for tuning in for episode 3.
4.
No, 4.
Episode 4.
Good Lord.
Yep.
I
don't even know what we're on now.
I'm already losing track. Oh my God. Well, thank you guys for tuning in to episode 4. We will see you guys next week.
Yep. Thank you guys.
Have a good one.
Bye.